All right, rugby fans, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready for another one? We're going to get into something that's got the whole rugby world talking, and that is England's summer tour of Argentina this July.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some cracking articles here from the BBC and some pretty insightful expert notes that'll give us a real close-up look at all the action, even before the first whistle blows.
Absolutely.
So, let's jump right in, eh?
Yeah, let's dive in. What's really interesting, I think, about this series is that it clashes with the British and Irish Lions tour.
Oh, yeah. Big time. It's
Yeah.
a massive scheduling conflict.
It is.
It's a proper headache for England, isn't it? I mean, you think about it. Most of England's top players are going to be down under with the Lions, which means we could see a very different England side facing the Pumas this time around.
Exactly. We're potentially looking at, what some might call a B team England up against a very fired up Argentinian side on their home turf.
Yeah.
That throws a lot of the usual predictions right out the window. I mean, if you think back, England actually swept Argentina in their last South American tour back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But that was with a full-strength squad.
Yeah, that's true. But a lot has changed since then, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a new coach at the helm, Steve Borthwick.
Exactly.
And let's not forget that really close third-place playoff at the 2023 World Cup where, England just managed to edge out Argentina 26-23.
Yeah, that was a real nail-biter.
It was, wasn't it?
It was a cracking game. Really showed just how close these two teams are in terms of, skill and tactical awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that England might have a tiny bit of a psychological edge after that win, but Argentina are going to be out for revenge. And they've got a massive opportunity to kind of find their form just before the England series.
Yeah, you're talking about their match against the Lions in Dublin on the 20th of June.
Right. That's the one.
Talk about a pressure cooker.
Talk about pressure.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Argentina managed to pull off a win against the Lions. They'd be coming into that England series absolutely sky high, full of confidence.
Yeah.
But, if they lose, well, it could really, dent their morale.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, okay, we've got England potentially fielding a less experienced side, and Argentina facing a massive confidence test against the Lions just weeks before.
Exactly.
Where does all of that leave Borthwick and his coaching strategies?
That is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
I mean, Borthwick is known for being adaptable, but this situation is unlike anything he's faced before.
You mentioned his adaptability, and I was just thinking back to some of his earlier matches. It's really interesting to see how he's tweaked his game plan depending on the strengths and weaknesses of his players. He's not afraid to shake things up a little bit.
No, he's not afraid to experiment, and that's what makes this series so unpredictable. I mean, with a potentially less experienced squad, he might focus on developing some younger talent, giving them some crucial international exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be a bit risky against a team like Argentina, especially on their home turf? I mean, they're not known for going easy on anyone.
No, they're not. That's why I said it's unpredictable. I mean, he could just as easily go for a more pragmatic approach, prioritize a really solid defense and a tactical kicking game to try and kind of grind out those results.
So it's almost like we're dealing with two different Argentinian teams here.
Yeah.
One that's potentially riding high after a victory over the Lions, another that's maybe, licking its wounds and feeling a bit vulnerable.
Potentially.
And then you've got how Borthwick approaches this with a potentially little experienced England squad.
Exactly.
It just adds another layer of intrigue, doesn't it?
You've hit the nail on the head. That's what makes this series so captivating, for rugby fans around the world.
Yeah.
It's not just a clash of titans. It's a story waiting to be written.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, think about the narratives. That could unfold.
It's crazy.
Will Argentina finally break through?
Right.
And conquer one of their old rivals, or will we see, a new generation of English players kind of step up and announce themselves on the world stage?
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps already just thinking about it. And let's not forget about the coaches, right? I mean, this series is a real chance for Borthwick to really kind of solidify his vision for the future of English rugby.
Absolutely. And, on the other side of the pitch, you've got the pressure on the Argentinian coach as well. They're looking to cement their own legacy and prove that, Argentinian rugby is a force to be reckoned with.
And you know what? Every single match, every try, every single decision made on that field is going to be under the microscope. I mean, this is high stakes rugby.
Yeah.
With a global audience.
It really is. I mean, the passion, the drama, the unpredictable nature of the game, it's all just amplified, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you have two really proud rugby nations with a history of, such intense rivalry going head to head.
Okay, but hold on a second. We keep talking about this as England versus Argentina, but we haven't really dug into the player matchups.
Oh, yeah, good
I
point.
mean, Argentina has some real game changers in their squad.
They do.
Yeah.
You've got players like Emiliano Buffeli, I mean, world-class fullback with a booming boot.
Mhm.
And then you've got, Pablo Matera, flanker, who can just disrupt an entire attack on his own
Yeah.
single-handedly. These are guys who can, change the momentum of a match in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you've got, on the English side, you've got the youngsters who might get their chance to shine, guys like Freddie Stewart at fullback and Marcus Smith at fly half. I mean, they're both so talented. But do they have the experience to handle the pressure of a test series against Argentina?
That's the question, isn't it? And it's not just about individual talent, is it? It's about how these players gel as a team.
Yeah.
England might be missing some of that veteran leadership, so it'll be interesting to see who steps up and takes charge.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And we can't forget that Argentina's got that home advantage.
Massive.
The Pumas are notorious for feeding off the energy of their crowd.
They are, yeah.
And that passionate support could be a real difference maker.
Yeah, it's like having an extra player on the field,
Yeah.
I mean, those Argentinian fans, some of the most dedicated in the world, and they'll be roaring their team on every step of the way.
It's going to be electric.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a step back for a second and just recap what we've talked about here. We've got England potentially sending a less experienced side thanks to that Lions tour clash, which, adds a whole new layer of uncertainty, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of unknowns. And on the Argentinian side, you've got that match against the Lions just weeks before, which could either give them a huge confidence boost or, really hit their morale.
Yeah, tough one to call.
It is. It is.
And then there's, Borthwick and his coaching, his adaptable coaching style.
Exactly. He's shown that he's happy to, adjust his game plan to suit the players that he has available, but how's he going to approach this? This is unique. It's a challenge, especially with a potentially less experienced team. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And we can't forget about the individual player matchup.
Absolutely. We talked about some of those key players for Argentina, those guys like Buffeli and Matera, who can just change a game like that.
Yeah, game changers.
On a dime.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the other side, you've got, those Gillish youngsters who might get their chance to shine. Guys like Stewart, Smith, bursting with talent.
Yeah.
But are they ready for this?
Big question.
Yeah, big question. And of course, we've got to factor in Argentina's home advantage.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean,
Those fans are going to be a force of nature, aren't they? Really pushing their team.
pushing them on.
Yeah, yeah. So what does this all mean for you, our listeners, our fellow rugby enthusiasts? It means you're in for a real treat this summer.
It does. Get ready for a real clash of styles, a battle of, sheer will, and a showcase of some of the best rugby talent on the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've laid out all the key factors, the potential twists and turns, those individual battles that could really decide the series.
Exactly.
Now we want to hear from you.
We do.
Knowing all this, who do you think has the edge going into this series? Who are you putting your money on? Let us know your predictions, your hopes, your fears for the series. We really want to hear it all.
Yeah, it'd be great to hear what you think.
Because ultimately, that's what makes rugby so special, isn't it? The passionate fans, the endless debates, the shared love.
The community
Yeah.
for this incredible sport.
Yeah, the community, absolutely. So keep those conversations going. Keep diving deep into the details, and get ready for a summer of rugby that's going to be unforgettable.
It really is, yeah.
Until next time, keep the rugby spirit alive.